You can find the drafting view under view, above create. You can find a drafting view here. You can see here the quick tool saying it creates a view showing details that are not directly associated with the building model. Okay, so this drafting view, when you are creating, it will ask for a name. You can give any name, that's your choice. You can select any scale. Okay, and if you say okay, so that's going to give a plain drawing area. Okay, so here you cannot add any 3D model. You can add only line, hatch, and detail items only. If you go to annotate, so whatever the detail items are highlighting, so they can be used. Okay, for example, you can use dimensions, but you cannot use spot elevation because they are related to 3D model. You can use a detail line, region, you can place detail component, but you cannot place legend component. And you can use the revision cloud. All these tools you can use. If you go to architecture, you can see all the modeling tools are inactive. If you go to structure, you cannot take any structural modeling tools. Even this is highlighting, but you can't use it. Okay, so we cannot include any 3D model in the drafting view. We can only use annotate elements. Okay, so that too except the spot elevation, spot coordinate, because they are related to 3D items. So what you can do with the drafting view, you can take a detail line. Okay, you can make your own detail. For example, in case if you're having a typical detail and if you are showing with the hatch, so that you can do. So you can show it with the hatch. You can add a text with the leader. Okay, so these kind of details you can prepare. Now we know how to create a drafting view. We have other choice also. You can create a legend. Okay, it's not only drafting view as 2D view, legends also 2D views. Okay, in the legends, in case if you're creating a legend, let me show you how it works. Okay, so in the drafting view, you cannot access under annotate, you cannot access legend components. Okay, you cannot access legend components. In case if you are creating a view legend, how do we access legend? So here, if you go to right click, you have an option to create a new legend. Otherwise, you can click here to create a new legend. So this is also a 2D view. Name you can give, you can select the scale. So both will look the same. But legend has a particular properties. You can keep the same legend in multiple sheet. You can use it multiple time. But drafting view, you can use only one time. Let's try. Okay, so I have created a drafting view and I have created a legend. Okay, so here I'm going to add some 2D detail. You can see whatever is available for drafting view, the same thing available for legend. If you go to components, you have all three detail items are available. Okay, so here in the legend you can choose any 3D item. For example, wall. Let's take a wall. So wall you can place and you can add a text. Okay, so this is what called as legend, but both are 2D views. That's our concept. Both are a 2D view. When you are creating a sheet, okay, let's create multiple sheets. For example, I have 2-3 sheet to print. Okay, in the first sheet I'm going to add, let's go to view. Okay, so here I have a drafting view. Let's drag this drafting view here. I have placed a drafting view here. Let's go to the next sheet. Okay, I'm going to drag the same drafting view to this sheet. See here, so Revit is telling us like this view is already placed on sheet A100. This view is already used, so we cannot use the same drafting view multiple times. Let's try with legend. I'm going to the first sheet. Okay, here I'm taking legend. So this is what I have created, right? So let's take a legend. If you want to remove the title, you can remove. Let's focus on the concept. This is my legend. Okay, so this is my detail. I have placed it on the first sheet. I'm going to the second sheet. I'm going to place the same legend to the second sheet. You can see you can place the same legend in multiple sheet. Okay, so that's the difference between drafting view and the legend. Legend used for legend, drafting view used for typical detail. Technically that's true, but typical detail sometimes we might need to place it in multiple sheets. Okay, because they are general detail, we may need to place it in multiple set. But in case if you want to place it in a different sheet or more than one sheet, then you have to duplicate the drafting view, then you can use. Otherwise you cannot place, right? Okay, you have one more option. You can place the typical detail as a family also. For example, if you go to annotate, you have an option called symbol. So this symbol is a 2D annotation symbol. The same family you can use it for north arrow or any scale. In case if you want to add general notes in the family, you can do so. Okay, so the concept is very simple. So it's going to bring a 2D family and it's going to just place. Instead of this north arrow, you can add a typical detail also, but it will not be appropriate. Okay, finally it's up to you how do you want to do it. Okay, so you can use a symbol for a 2D detail. Otherwise you can use detail item family for 2D detail, but you can place it inside legend or drafting view. So here you can take detail component, that's also a family, library family. You can create this detail component as a separate family, and then you can bring it here and you can place. Okay, we have lots of 2D details, but everything meant for a single component. Okay, so we have multiple options to make our 2D detail in the sheet, but what Revit recommends is for any detail, if you want to add, you can add it through drafting view. Okay, in case of legend, for example a section mark, wall legend, door legend, window legend, if you're adding any tag, if you want to mention what is what, then you can use a legend. Use a symbol only for north arrow and scale. Okay, and 2D detail item, if you want to use, you can use a 2D detail item, but use it like you are adding in case if you are adding a steel section, then you can have a steel section in plan, then you can save it as a detail item family, then you can use it in a detail. Okay, so finally it's up to you and your company standard. Okay, so you can make your own way to make your BIM document. So you have to, once you define the standard, then you have to follow. So that's a concept. Okay, so I believe, okay, now you have understood how these drafting view, legend and the symbol or a detail item works in Revit. Maybe you will forget tomorrow, okay, but it's very easy to remember. Okay, if you have understood now, then getting reminded in the next time will not be so difficult. So try to understand once, it will be easy. So if you are having any other doubt, you can ask me, otherwise we can close. That's all for today. Thanks for watching this video. Thank you. Bye bye.